Face it, you hate him. I try not to hate anybody, but you need to face the fact that that man has zero redeeming qualities. But it's interesting to me that any type of criticisms, whether it's warranted or not, is considered to be just hate to y'all. I had to listen to you bitch about Biden for 4 years. I guess that's your way of saying that you just hated the man for no reason. But see, here we go again with that binary that I was talking about. There is a nuance between love and hate. And yeah, I'm closer to the hate column when it comes to that guy, but he has earned every ounce of hate that he has gotten in his entire life. But when I ask the Red Hats to tell me one or two things that they absolutely hate about the man, they can't tell me a single thing. They love everything that he does. You see, unlike y'all, I have valid criticisms of every single president that I have ever lived under. I keep trying to explain to y'all, we are not the same. I do not worship any politician, ever. Any politician that has ever existed, I do not worship them. I do not think that they are infallible. I see problems with all of them because I understand that they're human beings. The orange one just happens to be the worst human being that I have ever known in my entire life. And that's not being hyperbolic. He has always been a gigantic piece of shit. In the 70s, he and his father were found guilty of racial discrimination in their buildings. In the 80s, he took out a full page in a newspaper trying to have 5 black guys executed for a crime that they did not commit. Just look up the Central Park 5 and tell me whose autograph that is right there. There is story after story after story of people that he hired to do jobs that he decided he just wasn't going to pay. As a result, a lot of those people lost their businesses, and some of them took themselves out permanently because they were ruined after he didn't pay them. And all of this happened long before he had any political aspirations whatsoever. But what I really want to know is, where do you draw the line? Where do any of you draw the line? What could he do to lose your support? Is there anything? And if the answer is no, then you should understand that you are in a cult. Before he was allowed to take office the first time, he had to settle a $30 million lawsuit for fraud for his fraudulent university. Obviously, somebody going into office with fraud on their record to begin with is not a good look. Would you have accepted that if it would have been any Democrat? Because the Democrats probably wouldn't have. What would you have done if Obama lost his second election and we all stormed the Capitol, broke in, and rubbed our shit all over the walls? How would you have taken that? Would you have said, oh, well, that's just, that happens? It must have just been a rowdy tourist group. You would have said that, right? No doubt. And what if he ran again after being found liable for sexual assault, after being found guilty for 34 felonies? And what if he had 51 other felony indictments out there that he still hasn't gone to trial for because he won another term? Would you be okay with that? I don't think you would. What if Biden wiped out $6 trillion worth of wealth from the stock market? Would you just be like, oh, well, these things happen? What if Biden hired Mark Cuban to the tune of $8 million a day to go around to all our federal agencies and try and get all of the personal information of all the Americans in here looking for fraud, waste, and abuse? Would you have been okay with that if Biden did it? Because I don't think you would. If Biden said that he was going to declare war on our closest allies if they didn't become our 51st state, or that we just need that country just for our national security or something like that, would you think that he lost his mind? Or would you say, yeah, that seems reasonable? No, you wouldn't, because we wouldn't even do that. We would think that he lost his mind if he tried to say something like that. But the Red Hats do not have a bottom to how far he can go before you say, okay, that's a bridge too far, I'm getting off here. And there is only one explanation why.